Hey guys, so in this video, I'm going to go ahead and do my review video on My Little Pony, Season 7, Episode 10. Alright, so this episode first starts off with Starlight's cutie mark being shown on the map, which I was actually very impressed to see, because this was the first time seeing someone other than the main six being called by the map. However, Twilight was nervous since it was located in Canterlot. However, Starlight kind of got nervous as well. And the reason why I'm being quiet is I'm doing this fairly early in the morning, and but anyway, so in the next scene, Starlight went to Canterlot and told Celestia that she was called according to the map. However, Celestia told Starlight that there wasn't a friendship problem for her to solve, but on the look on their faces, you could tell that there was a problem. And so in the next scene, when Starlight got back to the suite in the castle, and she somehow found Twilight in it, Twilight used some communication spell with Starlight to be like a little ballerina toy. And so Starlight told Twilight that the friendship problem might be between the two sisters. And apparently, Twilight obviously kind of freaked out about that. So the next morning, Starlight ends up having some breakfast with Celestia, but they did they, but did they really need to have it at such a big table though? Because it was fairly big, like it was fairly long to where Celestia was at the complete at at the other side of the table from Starlight. However, Princess Luna still came in a bad mood. So Starlight told Twilight in the suite that it might be Luna's fault, which unfortunately doesn't surprise me. And so in the next scene, Starlight met up with Luna in the main room of the castle, putting up some flowers that she does every night. However, Luna felt like she didn't get the credit and gratitude she deserves, which is very unfortunate since she truly is a fan favorite. And so that's where Starlight found out that they were hurting each other without realizing it. However, when Starlight told Twilight that then obviously she started freaking out. But I personally think either way, Twilight really wasn't needed for the rest of this episode. I mean, I don't know. It just kind of got annoying just seeing her in that little ballerina toy. I mean, couldn't she just? I mean, really, if she was gonna communicate with Starlight, she probably should have just stayed in the castle. Like, actually, stay in the castle. But anyway, and so that next morning, Starlight had breakfast with Celestia again, and she pointed out what the problem might be, which may be between those two, like I said earlier. And she was right because of them arguing about the important things that they typically do. And so then Starlight went and switched their key marks, which kind of made me think of that one song from the end of season 3. And the spell that Starlight casted only lasted for 24 hours. And so they had to do what they could to manage having each other's cutie marks for a day. And so when Starlight told Twilight about switching Luna and Celestia switching marks, she obviously started freaking out. And so that next day, Luna ended up telling the other ponies that in Canterlot that Luna and Celestia had switched roles for the day, and after doing so, Starlight showed a task list of what Celestia was supposed to do, and it was interesting to see Luna do all of Celestia's jobs. However, she did end up getting exhausted. in in fact, when she was supposed to get a pic with some of the school ponies in Camelot, she ended up frowning. In fact, she even hit the sack because of how tired she was. However, Celestia was wide awake because she had a Luna's cutie mark, and it was interesting to see her try to raise the moon, and it was interesting to see how Celestia was able to go into the dreams of other ponies. And I actually liked all the dreams that Celestia saw. And I say my favorite dream that I saw was AJ being held, and AJ AJ is a baby being held in the arms of her parents, and then there was one where Fluttershy. There was one with Fluttershy with Angel and Flurry Heart being a DJ and Princess Cadence enjoying the music that she was producing. But however, at one point Celestia had to save Starlight from her nightmare, obviously. But then after Starlight was saved from her nightmare, excuse me, Nightmare Moon appeared, which made sense for this episode. But then another pony named Daybreaker appeared, and she was pretty much supposed to be like an evil version of Celestia. She also seems more evil than Luna. I mean, and man, the fight between Nightmare Moon and Daybreaker was really intense. Man, they both went really hard. And so meanwhile, Luna and her nightmare was struggling with the kids she was with in that group pic where she wasn't smiling. But fortunately, Celestia managed to get her out of her nightmare and back into the situation that she was dealing with. And Luna ended up seeing the fight between Nightmare Moon and Daybreaker, which kind of made me think, for some reason, made me think about Dragon Ball Z. Because of the fighting style that they had. And so Celestia ended up admitting that Luna's job is incredibly hard, and Luna admitted how much of a challenge Celestia's job was as well. And so I learned from 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 both. And the thing I learned from them is that both of their jobs are challenging in their own ways. Because in some ways Celestia works harder, some ways Luna works harder. And so Celestia did end up defeating both Nightmare Moon and Daybreaker. However, I think it would have been better if Luna defeated Nightmare Moon. But I like the way Celestia defeated them both. I mean, Daybreaker just seemed like a complete psychopath. And so that next morning, Luna made Celestia some pancakes, and they ended up getting along really well again, which was nice to see. So then Starlight came out wide awake, but confused at the same time. But fortunately, Starlight found out that the map was right to call her on that friendship mission. And then once Celestia and Luna got their cutie marks back, Starlight's cutie mark began to glow, telling her that their friendship mission was accomplished. And remember how Twilight appeared earlier in the episode as that little spinning toy ballerina? Well, apparently she came out of the room all excited about how things worked out well, which again was really unnecessary. I mean, Starlight could have just told Twilight about it when she got back, or have Celestia write a letter to Twilight. But anyway, so overall, I thought this was a pretty good episode, and I think it made sense for Starlight to switch their it made sense for Starlight to switch Luna and Celestia's mark to give them an idea of what their jobs are like. And here's what I'm wondering. I wonder what it would be like if Twilight and Princess Cadence switched cutie marks. That would be an interesting thing to see. Uh, but anyway, and I love how, as far as this episode, as far as the two sisters, I'm glad it focused on the two sisters and Starlight. And so this is my review video on My Little Pony Season 7, Episode 10. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time, alright? All right, thanks, guys. All right, bye.